Good evening and welcome to some formerly shunned people, but we're not shunning each other. So tonight we're actually going to talk to each other about being formerly shunned. Did that make sense?
Formally? I don't know.
Or maybe
I
currently?
think
Are
some of
we
us
currently
may
being shunned?
ongoing and continually be
I've been
shunned.
shunning y'all for the past 2 weeks.
How's it been working? Did
We've
it go
shunned the entire audience.
Yeah, we shunned everybody.
Oh, that's sad.
Shun,
Mm-mm-mm.
unshun. Welcome.
Shun, unshun. I have a comment about that later. But anyways, welcome. Hello, everybody. Good
I
evening.
didn't see what we set the thumbnail to. Did we put one of those up there?
Shun. Yes.
Oh, I see now. That's good.
Unshun was also an option. But we can talk about unshunning next time. We will probably do a two-parter here. So
Yeah.
First of all, hi. Welcome. Dr. Time Waster, the shunned one.
Boy, Rusty.
Tyler, how was your holiday weekend? How was your 2 weeks off? Shunning the good folks.
Shunning us all.
It was great. I even shunned my entire family for it.
Oh,
Your entire family.
Oh yeah,
Or did they shun you?
Either way, it was just me and the cat for a week.
It was like a hibernation shun.
Yeah.
Hobbit
weird.
shun. I'm just locking myself away.
The neighbor said, "I thought you was gone." I said, "No, I was just in the house. I left at night. Got something to eat and hobbled back indoors."
Well, Dobstepper, how was your
Yes.
Mine
was
shunning
pretty
period?
good.
Were we?
My mom had surgery since I last saw y'all on her lower back. So she's mostly just been getting rest, and so I've been getting rest, which I've been enjoying. I like sleep.
It's cool,
Good.
man.
Rest is necessary.
Necessary, absolutely.
It lined up well with my going to school and stuff, so got some extra time off.
And I heard
that's
you had
good.
some good news today on that front.
Good news. Oh, yes. My final today, this morning, got 94%
Woo!
All thanks to me and my prayers.
in world
Yes,
civilization since the Industrial Revolution.
Yes, you wouldn't have done any good had it not been for Tyler's thoughts and prayers for you.
Yes, I know. That's the only thing that mattered. Thank you. I need it again for this Tuesday, everybody. Pray for me to do well on my sociology final.
Okay.
Well, we will be
Pray to all the
talking
gods
about
I
a
know.
sociology subject, so we'll lead into it.
Yes.
Ryan, did you have a good break?
I got to see my kids. They came over, so that was nice, and we got to hang out. So yeah, that was really nice. They brought my youngest brought their dogs, so we had two. Oh damn, I can't think of what they're called. Starts with a sh. They're big and
Shun
fluffy dogs. They're shun dogs. and they're just huge, and so they were running around the house with Pickles, and they were just having like the best time. So it was great, but the house was a mess.
That sounds like fun though. But
Worth it.
It's good to have those days where like all the normal rules of keeping things clean and tidy, it's like nobody cares. We're all just here.
Yeah.
We can clean it later.
I just made sure like some of my vines were out of the way, like because I have plants like all over the damn house. So that's was like the only thing. But other than that, I was like, I really don't care what happens. I didn't care. I was just so glad they were having fun.
Good. Well, that sounds like a great time. Hope everybody else had a good time. I celebrated my birthday, which is fine. Just had a good time. Thank you. Some friends came and kind of made like a Friendsgiving birthday bash. My friend's birthday is the same day too, so we just make it fun.
Oh, that's funny.
Happy birthday. I've missed telling you this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, I waited for it, and I was like, nope, he's on my shit list now.
I had it in my calendar last year, and for some reason it didn't transfer over, so couldn't remember.
I don't know how I remembered.
I knew it was in November, and then it just passed. I forgot.
Did you tell me? I don't remember.
No, I think your wife's birthday is like the day.
Oh,
or something.
The
like
day after.
Day after, excuse me. So
And my mom's, what day yours on?
The 30th.
No, it's the day before, and my mom's is on the same day as yours.
Oh, okay. Glad we said that.
Your mom's is November 30th. And what street did you grow up on? What's her
Yeah.
last
And
four
what
of her
was my
social?
mother's
Yeah,
maiden
right.
name?
It's gonna be the last 4 of your social. You don't even have to do like the first 5.
Yeah, I'll get that later.
Oh wow! No,
Trying to make you feel safe about it.
one of my back in the day though, my phone number used to be 5432, and my home address was 1234.
Weird.
So whatever I would tell people, they said, "Come on, give me a real address, man." No, that's really it. It's
You're faking it.
Yeah, I'm not faking it.
It's my fake address on Fake Street.
Yeah, 1234 Fake Street.
That would be hilarious.
You got to pass through Fake Boulevard.
Take a left on Wild Goose Drive.
The Tabernacle.
Well, one of the reasons we're going to talk about this topic today of shunned, being shunned, shunning, the whole shunny, shitty process. Because I got a birthday text from my mom, who is the only current Jehovah's Witness that I speak to ever. It wasn't a surprise, right? In the sense, like, of course you miss me. Of course you're thinking about me. You gave birth to me. You remember this day. I understand that. But like, what are we going to do here? Yep, I love you too, right? And not to say that it isn't nice to hear these things and to at least get to that kind of a relationship, which I know not many people can even achieve, depending on the situation, if they even wanted to, right? This is such a unique and individualized response to this, but it made me start to think about this topic a lot. And specifically, like, she laid out all the reasons why she wouldn't be shunning me, except. And then I was like, this isn't really any different than any other time she said the same thing to me. What's different? There is something different. Why is this so accepting, except for this one thing here? And I had made some, like, I usually don't actually talk bad about Jehovah's Witnesses on my Facebook page because I'm like never there anyway. That would be effort. There would be no point. I made some sarcastic comment on somebody else's post who was saying something else, and she must have seen it. And that was her reference point was, I've seen some of the things you've said and they're not. And I'm like, you have no idea. I come here every week.
Oh, wait till you hear about this.
Wait till you watch the episode after episode after episode of us actually reading the material that you told me to read. So anyways, it just got me thinking about it, and I thought maybe we could talk about it because I thought we did some good stuff last time. Like, I know we were just farting around and like talking about world problems and how could we solve them, but it's fun to talk about stuff. And then also shunning and suicide are like those things we just don't talk about. And I feel like we lost somebody. Oops.
He wasn't.
He didn't want to talk about it.
He didn't have faith, and so God decided that we must shun him now.
How rude.
That's how it works, everybody.
Well,
Don't have enough faith, you just get
you just said
shunned
talked
right out.
about the ill effects of shunning, and he just dipped like that.
I guess he's shunning us at this point, but no, but I think they're just such taboo topics, and sometimes when we don't talk about it, we also don't hear other ideas and think about it from different perspectives and understand why we as people have these behaviors. Why do we do this to each other? And we weren't, us ex-JDub group here, now that the shunned one is out. We all grew up Jehovah's Witness, and there was only one way. This is the way, right? But now we're out. Now we have to learn what everybody else is doing. what everybody else is learning. Oh, there's other ways to think. This is not the only way. There's many ways. And so just like with anything else, if you don't learn from other people and get other ideas, you stagnate and you think nothing else is possible, right? Jehovah did it. Don't ask any more questions. And that's just not healthy because I don't think it's reality, for one. But why wouldn't a good God want us to figure out how to live together, right? And so that's all this is for. Humankind in harmony. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, Jehovah brought him back, I guess.
Unshun.
I was trying to do something. No, I was trying to
Click the wrong thing. Happens to the pros. Even
I was
the
trying to
pros.
sign in so I can get to the chat over there, and it just zipped me right on out of here.
Uh-huh. Well, welcome back. We were just having a good deep conversation. You'll just have to pick it up as we go.
I appreciate it.
We only just started to talk about shunning.
Well, what is shunning? We know. Do we know what shunning is? Do you feel confident?
We know what shunning is. I don't know that I'm not. I think
Jehovah's Witnesses
Tyler before.
Like the word shunning?
I think that they use the word shunning.
They use the word disfellowship, don't they?
Well, disfellowship is the main terminology. Jehovah's Witnesses, like, what's the terminology they use?
They don't. You can't associate with people after they've been. That's how they.
Yeah, they just word it in a specific way.
You can't have association with people.
Right.
Yeah, I think they do skip around the word shunning, but I don't think that they try to deny it's shunning.
Well,
what if I was wondering? What if at time? What if we was shunned? That's why we stopped going. I just didn't know. We've been shunned for all these years, and I don't even know it.
Better off.
I went and looked it up. There's like, obviously, you can probably find a couple different definitions, but I think the essence of it is the same regardless of what terminology you would like to use, right? So does this sound like disfellowshipping, social rejection or emotional distance, usually in a religious context, for people who are not basically conforming to pre-described rules, right? That's it. That's what that is. And I wrote down like my own little notes here.
So that's all it says. That's all the definition.
I mean, I was just cliff noting it.
Oh, okay. I just was
Sorry.
curious if that was as straightforward.
On Wikipedia, they had defined it because like a couple of things just kind of went off the rails. But social rejection. Oh wait. Okay. Shunning can be the act of social rejection or emotional distance. Usually in a religious context, shunning is a formal decision by a denomination or congregation to cease interaction with an individual or group, and follows a particular set of rules. It differs from, but may be associated with, excommunication. Same kind of idea, right? Excommunication is Catholic?
I was just looking up a list of all the organizations and religions that
removed.
Well, I didn't find organizations. I found religions. And
Scientology does it. Mormons do it.
Scientology. Mormons actually not listed here, but I'm pretty sure they do.
I know. I'm positive they do.
Okay, that they don't.
They might do. I just don't know that they call it what they call it.
Removed is what Jay says.
Gotcha. So we got Catholicism, Mormons, Judaism apparently does have it at some level. Something that I hadn't heard of called the Baha'i faith.
I've heard of that, but I don't know like what kind of.
We got Islam does it for apostates.
Oh, they do it as well for apostates. Ooh.
Yes.
I mean, some of the definitions of shunning included basically various severities, right, of like punishment or isolation or that. So like they're all the same thing, but it could be a minor inconvenience to, I don't know, torture and death, stoning them to death. So just some variation of it.
I just wish they would include in the definition how it's intentional. Like obviously the disfellowshipping is intentional, but the not the symptoms, but the issues that come from the psychological stuff that happens to you, like that's all intentional. They want you to feel shame and guilt and be isolated and feel like you have to come crawling back on your knees. And I mean, I guess then the definition would be far too long and nobody would want to read it. Like, boring. Get over it.
I'm still trying to find other examples of shunning, but not currently finding.
Other religions that do it.
That was pretty much all for the religions. I was looking for organizations or
organization.
Cultural.
Wikipedia went on and had like targets of shunning, which I thought was an interesting collection of things I hadn't thought of, but they had listed out apostates, whistleblowers, dissidents, strike breakers, and then they just said any person who's a perceived threat or source of conflict. So
strike breakers, scabs. We shun scabs, everybody.
Scabs, bro. Scabs be scabbing.
They break the line. Don't associate.
Drew Barrymore's the scab.
Yeah.
She's so fucking creepy, yo.
I don't like people who talk like her.
Shit.
I don't want y'all in my face like that.
What is so? What bothers you? What bothers you though when you talk like that? Sorry. Anyway,
I've never watched one of her shows.
But
don't.
I'm laughing because how you doing your lips?
She does that anyhow.
Anyway,
well, you can shun her. It's fine.
I am actually shunning her, and you know what? Actually, I shun. I do in my praxis. I shun. I'm canceling. I'm shunning.
Is there like a benefit to shunning? Remember, like I mean, I guess I should say there are like you talk about canceling. I also saw the word like ostracization. Ostracize people and turn them into ostriches.
Ostrich people.
Ostrich.
We're talking about ostrich people.
Boy, y'all butchering that word, boy.
Ostracization. I can't say this.
Just go simpler. Just go simpler. You know?
Ostracize.
Ostracism.
There you
Just
go.
ostracism. How about that? Yeah. Ostracism.
You froze in that pose on the screen.
Did I? Ostracism.
She did. Whenever Dr. Time Waster did that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure I just paused for a really long time.
It looked like you did an 80s end of movie freeze frame. That's how it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think I guess I just want to say, like, when I'm talking about the word shunning, I am excluding pretty much anything not really religious for the most part. But I mean, we can talk about it. But when I'm really more thinking of like high controlling groups, you could lump in there as well, but just like religions in general. But
I know a high controlling group.
There's plenty.
You better not be talking about me.
I mean, Because
Right.
I mean, at some point we could say TikTok shuns people by banning them or shadow banning them, or like it's
I think they
similar
all have
idea.
their own definition. I think there's a difference between
TikTok
canceling
is-
and shunning and putting up boundaries whenever like you have to cut somebody out of your life, and like those are completely different than sweeping the entire rug out from under somebody
I
and
used to
cutting
get
them
cool
off.
stuff on
Is
my
the
No, there's a
same.
lot of power imbalance that happens there.
TikTok ain't what it used to be. I used to get
It's
cool
not a
stuff. All I
Good.
get is
Nothing is ever as it used to be, and
I
it never
know.
will be again.
Yeah, you're right. Everything changes. We have to get used to that.
it's
Nothing
it's
stays the same.
it's the repeatable cycle of every social media thing. Eventually,
They're improving it.
Eventually, it becomes an e-shop.
Right?
Oh my god! Like
I pretty much don't go on it
I
anymore.
made the mistake of liking one video about a brush for curls.
You can't even linger and accidentally get distracted
No,
and then do something else and then be like,
Man.
oh shit, this is
they'll
still
think you
playing.
like it.
I'm getting the same ad over and over and over. And it's not just like the very same ad. It's like other people. You can like, oh, they must got a campaign out right now because everybody is talking about this one particular thing, like the poppy sodas.
Yeah. So Dandy, when you say you talk to work about it, when they say that their family members they hadn't talked to in years, do they mean like intentionally, or they just the relationship had fallen off? Like an intentional shun? Yeah, we're gonna sit here and wait for you to answer.
For a split second, I was listening to your question. I was like, yeah, that's a good question. I'll sit here and wait. I can't wait for that.
But considering that, like, it's such a perverse and very what do you call it? When it seems, is it endemic? No. When it's like like a lot of people seem to have this problem. Like there's more cults than you realize that use this kind of
you're saying like it's an endemic problem.
Yeah,
Endemic?
but I don't think endemic is
almost
the word.
a epidemic.
Epidemic? I don't know the
Endemic.
word.
It's all over the world. No, just kidding.
Everywhere you look, there's
Malaria. Malaria.
But I mean, part of the let's think about it for a second, because this is what I was thinking about this since then is like what are the benefits versus the harm, right? I think we can all sit here and think of lots of harm. In fact, that's probably the majority of what it does. But the benefits are there. There are benefits to doing it.
to shunning people.
To shunning people, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Allie, let's list some benefits, and you start. Give us a benefit to shunning people. I'm like counting off this.
Are you talking about to the person who's shunned or the people who do the shunning?
General.
The people who do.
Who would benefit from shunning? And
the
how?
person who
the people who
like you
set
shun
those rules out. What?
You shun the people who don't want to follow the things you want to be true.
You
Therefore, you get it benefits it. Rather how I feel about it, it benefits you because you're getting rid of that to preserve what you had. So for you, it's a benefit.
There's
And
some
I'm gonna-
behavior control to be had.
Yeah.
And when you say you, I would just challenge that. Is it really the individual doing the shunning that it benefits, or is it the group as a whole that benefits as a group, as defined by?
Well, now, if the now as a whole, based on how we operate, no.
You don't think it benefits the community as a whole?
Well, it depends on.
Then why do they do it?
Because they think it benefits, but it doesn't benefit in a way that it benefits in a way depending on how you think. It's a benefit. People see it's a benefit if you're not looking to change nothing. Like if you have enough people in that community are in agreement, like we like this way of life, no matter how anybody else feels about it from the outside looking in, just how they personally feel about it, then yeah, that'd be all right. But You know, to them they will be, but if they, but the way we are is like you won't be able to. At some point, the way the world works, you're not gonna be able to do that forever. At some point, it's gonna either it's not gonna last forever.
What's not going to last forever?
The system.
The people that shun to get people out of the community. It's like you.
Before you know it, you're a community of too small of people, and everybody else has made a new community.
I mean, it sounds like that would happen. It doesn't happen to the Jehovah's Witnesses, though. They would never run out of people to shun, unfortunately.
Oh no,
I think that there's never run out of new people.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be a long time, but
I mean, their numbers are dwindling, so it obviously is, but it's like that would be for like.
And you know, my motto is I believe the Jehovah's Witnesses probably be the first to go.
They're falling off.
At least they used to. I don't know.
Like they're too high controlling.
Well, that's why they're trying to back off.
I think there's a benefit to, so I do think there is a benefit, not in a good way, but there's a benefit to the organization as a whole, because you have a whole group who are bonding in a way over a trauma, right? They're getting this reinforcement of like, oh God, this is what you do not do. This is what how we shouldn't behave. So it's a benefit to the organization to see people seeing it actually happen, you know, in action. It benefits the governing body because you have people who, again, are going through this shame ritual, because it's like a ritual that they perform. You know, it's like a funeral that you have to like live through, watching your death happen, watching people like learn that you're dead to them, you know, because it's like a surprise. You're at a funeral. Your friend that you used to talk to at the Kingdom Hall, like one of your best friends, well, guess what? They're shunned. So it's a very traumatic experience that is a benefit to the organism.
Have any one of y'all shunned people?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was
not 100%, but I did. Yeah.
Just a child.
What was it by? When I say did y'all shun? Did y'all just you was just there and you just doing what your parents do?
I was just doing it
versus you acting like that person is that. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
You just follow your parents. You just going on. You're born into this. This is just what it is. So you're not really thinking about what you're doing in terms.
Oh, it's normalized.
It looks normalized.
So early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't look weird to you. So
no, it's like this is just what you do, and if you don't do it, you're the one who's like the weirdo, ostracized.
Yeah, and it makes sense, you know.
I'm gonna tell you guys a little shunning story. How normalized was I as a youth to shun? Both parents or family on both parents' side, born and raised Jehovah's Witness, a lot against me. My uncle on my dad's side didn't ever get baptized. You know, he was really into it. And he had said something once, either to one group of someone in the family, maybe, about having like a dream that seemed, I don't know, like there was angels or demons, like it felt prophetic to him or something. He was just talking about a dream, and they were like, he's got demons in his home, and the whole fucking family shunned him.
Wait, what?
He was not baptized in the Jehovah's. He was not in attendance ever. He never committed to it. And my uncle convinced the entire family that we had to shun him. And I remember being a child and just being like, but he's not in the, okay. But I mean, I had no control of it. I was a small child. It's not like I could go to his house or give him a call or, but yeah, I was like, he was shunned even within our family. That uncle, by the way, that insisted on that was the one who was projecting just a tad and also had been cheating on his wife for 20-some years. So
oh my Lord. It is always the
elder and then
his dick in somebody else's property.
Avoiding consequences. Anyways, yeah. It is bizarre how easy it is to just accept it. And I think what gets you out of it is when you realize how bizarre it is, right? Like, you're like, why am I not talking to this person? What is the reason I can't be around this person?
That's wild.
It's one of those stories that you tell, like, as an adult about your childhood that you think is normal. And, like, people are just kind of looking at you like,
stop, Ryan.
Mm.
All y'all had to stop. I keep telling y'all. As soon as you would have said you were Jehovah's Witness, everybody, oh yeah. You ain't gotta say no more. We already that was crazy.
and that's the thing. Like, I have no idea how nobody ever told me.
We did tell y'all
no, but
all
I mean,
the
me,
time.
like, I wonder how nobody like told me personally, like, in 40 years. It's wild.
I mean, my friends never told me, hey, you're in a cult. Like, nobody ever said that to me. Because they knew that if they did, whether I wanted it to happen or not, I would probably no longer be allowed to be their friend. Because if my parents heard them say those things, I would no longer be able to associate with them.
Yeah.
And I was lucky as it was that I could associate with non-witness people at public school.
Man.
They would never have endangered. I don't think they would have ever.
Nowadays, I would always ask questions. If somebody told me they were like a Mormon, I'd be asking them questions every day. So what do you believe about this? What do you believe about that? What do you believe about this? Does that make sense? Does that line up?
Yeah, I am so glad that shout out to those regular Christians, man. I mean,
what's
they normalize the weirdos, so they're not blamed here.
I mean, they're just unwilling.
Just a Christ believer.
Well, they're not as high. Like I told you, they're not as high controlling as that. Like the Christians I grew up around when high controlling. Like it didn't nothing. The church was the church, and then like we didn't exist around that. Like we didn't meet up at the church to do stuff. It was multiple different churches.
So how do those churches handle somebody who's not
nothing?
Fine.
Nothing. They just pray for you, and that's it.
Everybody's really welcome. Is that what you're saying?
That it becomes down to that. It's just the individual person's feeling about you determines how that individual will treat you. In terms of like how the church treats you, the church doesn't treat you like anything. Like if you don't go to church, if you just stop going to church, you come back 6 months later. Every Baptist church I ever went in, they say, "Oh, welcome. You coming back?" You get to come right back in. You get to right back in and get back. You can leave and quit coming and come back. You just you can go in and out, boy. It don't matter. It's no rules.
So that's Baptist church? Is that what you're saying? Like, or is that other denominations?
Just like like Christian, Southern Baptist, those non-denominational church. That's kind of how it is. You just go in and out. You don't really stick. You don't have to. Yeah,
I feel like the non-denominational ones could potentially be. I always thought they were like the more vaguely interpreted, but maybe I just
they are vaguely interpreted. There's different tiers. Like they're vaguely different. The churches are all different. They all teach differently the way they do it, but but the common thread is you can come and go as you please. It's not something smiled upon, but they're not going to not let you come back in the church, and nobody's going to say, "Oh, I don't mess with you because you don't go to this church." They may like if your reasoning for not going to church, say, maybe something more sinister than just not going to church. Like you're not going to church anymore because now you're out robbing people. Then people may not mess with you. But if you're not going to church and you're just going to work and going home, nobody cares. So nobody's not gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna mess with him. He doesn't go to church anymore." It depends on what you're doing in your individual life determines if they'll rock with you. Now, but you can always come back again. I done seen it. I done seen it time and time again. Just come on back in. You get a redo. It's on cheat. You can't mess this up. You can't mess up as a Christian. My bad. I messed up this time, God. Let me get it one more time. You got it.
That is so anti what I was taught. Like, because we know the truth, we have even more of a responsibility to be perfect and never make mistakes.
We know better.
Seemed to me like it just seemed better to not know it. And then
because you got to think about it.
Just not
why did you tell me this? Why did you?
You got to think about the whole Witness Church ain't pulling from as many cultures as everyday Baptist or church is pulling from. Like the little church down in in-laws have, they got like it looks like you would think it'd just be like an all black church, but it's not. Like it's Hispanics, white people, whatever those people are, and then it's just in there. And then so you get all this culture, you get like the preacher. Like especially as a community, they got different parts and they work here, somebody work there, somebody doing this, so you know what's going on. But it's not like, so you're not like you're dealing with people that may not even go to church, or you may be dealing with people because there's a lot of outreach and people out talking to people and mingling with the regular people, trying to get people to come to church. So they end up being more culturally diverse than a Jehovah's Witness would be, because Jehovah's Witness ain't, even though y'all going door to door, but they're not. It's like y'all it was too salesy. like yo.
Yeah, it's really just
it felt more like a
corporate organization.
Yeah, it felt like, yo, what's wrong? Why y'all walking around like this? What's going on? And you're different from the rest
casual,
of it. So it's like, you can see the people, Joe. It's like, you're kind of odd. What's the difference? Something different about y'all. But I'm sorry. I tried to get your mother out of there.
Now, everyone here already knows that. Preaching to the choir here.
Yeah.
We figured, if you're here, you've probably already figured that part out.
Hanging around you atheist people, man, made me realize how much little I thought about like God. Like I didn't realize how much in my life it was not a thought.
I didn't want to think about it.
I wish I had any point in my life.
I know, right?
That was ever the case.
But it's such a small piece in my mind. Like it's like, I don't really think about. I don't really think about like. They'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna burn." I'm like, no.
Pretty much ever since I was born, I've been trying to figure out what the hell this existence is that I'm in.
I think the Jehovah's Witnesses, the organization specifically, but the members as well, are going to go through this. Where if they're paying attention, they're going to reach that sunk cost fallacy, where they've already put so much effort and energy into this process that they can't stop now. And that's just the whole process of disfellowshipping people, right?
Yeah.
This extreme rigidity, right? And if they go back on it, then they kind of lose their identity. Like, then what makes them different than anyone else? And they have to be different than everyone else because they have to be. And so it's going to be, I think this is a problem, right? There's countries around the world who are starting to defund the religion officially because they're not complying with rules and laws that they say are child abuse, such as shunning. Shunning being probably the main one, except for the actual child abuse.
Hey, what's the youngest?
Physical and emotional child abuse on top of the shunning.
How would shunning work if it's like an underage child?
It works.
I mean, I don't know what they do now.
How does it work? Like, what do they do? You just walk around the house and nobody talks to you?
Still live with your parents if they let you. You're just not allowed to talk to anyone in the congregation in the Kingdom Hall. You have to still go to all the meetings, and you just go and sit there and don't say anything and go home and don't.
Also, like, maybe being sent to go live with the grandparents.
Man, y'all was in
or that too
might happen.
Y'all was in a cult, man.
Yeah.
Golly. Oh my goodness. No, I just realized now in about 20 years, when they break the seal or the Jehovah's Witness code in the documentary, we're gonna be in it. They're gonna
You'll
clip
be the
this
prophet.
scene.
I told you so.
They're gonna clip this right here. And I'm like, yeah. He knew back then.
Wait. Mark my words. Quick, let's get all the clips in.
Yeah, I don't like seeing religion going corporate. Religion's been corporate since fucking Roman times.
Oh,
300.
Speaking of
Constantine.
You said something, Ryan.
What I said.
You just made me.
Oh, look, Jonathan's calling it. You're having an epiphany.
That may be what I'm having.
Epiphany.
You're having an epiphany. Epiphany.
Yeah, you need me to call 911.
Epiphany.
He's having an epiphany.
What is the epiphany?
Give me 1 second. I'm almost there.
Epiphany.
Well, if you don't hurry up, I also had.
All right. I'm here. I found it. So I was just looking on the job board and I saw this. It was this church up here. It's big, huge church. I mean, it's so it looks like it's just ridiculous. It looks like it's just so ridiculously big. And where I live, it's like multiple mega churches.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, geez, come on, man. And they keep building them. And
Yeah.
I was looking, I just clicked on the website and I went to like to see the about of the people and just start the titles and like executive pastor, associate pastor. And I'm like, what is an executive pastor? What is
Chief
that?
Executive pastor.
This guy,
sermon director,
this executive pastor knows no more about existence than I do.
No.
He knows no more.
No. And he probably
about what happens when
about
we
the
die.
Bible than I do.
Then you get down to what did they have it? Teaching pastor, groups and events pastor.
Groups and events pastor.
Yeah. Outreach pastor.
Social media.
Outreach. Hold on. Outreach pastor.
Outreach.
Women's ministry.
International pastor.
Youth and young adult pastor.
Ooh.
Communications pastor.
That's a media pastor.
Worship worship coordinator.
But the other ones don't specialize in worship.
Yeah. Choir director. That makes sense.
That's the only way that's a normal job.
Yeah,
Somebody's got to direct the choir.
But look, but even the normal job starts sound weird. Like a great kids director, Latino worship leader. That makes sense. But pre-K director, like I said, like this in corporate is like, yo, they got bread. They got even got the international people.
It's job creators.
They have finance and operations section.
Yeah, somebody's got to mind
it is. It's like a whole little business, little mob organization.
Here you go. It says a fellowship of over 5,150 churches with more than 499,000 members. Various passion ministries and educational institutions, both nationally and internationally.
Damn.
With missionaries in 126 nations of the world.
Boo!
This is just one church.
Tomato.
This is just one.
Wow. Well. Long business, man. Be making a lot of money.
You see that?
Yeah.
I like that.
Pedo, pastor of education, discipline, and order.
That is wild.
Wild
You just listen
stuff.
off all those pastors, and I'm like, I think
I really want to know what
we've
a
left one out.
I want to know what a communication pastor is, though.
Might be social media type stuff.
Or like the
But they
pamphlets
try to make
and
these.
stuff they put out. Communication of the message.
PR-ish, like a PR
Yeah,
position.
You know what bothers me about it is like I said, yo, come on, you just trying to paint this little church part on this, but just call them what they doing. Stop making up these weird names for them.
Well, everybody's got to reinvent it. Come on.
I mean, I guess to
I've been
some
a Wawa.
extent, if you're like a 501c3, you probably have to have some certain titles like VP, treasury, like there might be specific titles for the board or something that you have to have. But to purposely like do that throughout your organization, it doesn't bode well with me. I don't think it sounds good.
That's right. We want chaos.
Well,
but that kind of brings me back to what you had said earlier that I wanted to pick up on, and that was when we were talking about benefits of shunning and stuff.
mm-hmm.
Like it's a sort of like a social behavioral control for a group to get people to comply. Like
I was just about to say it's a way to get a behavior from spreading through a group.
Right, because you don't want disruptions. You don't want, what was that, like a source of conflict or perceived threat to the stability of your community, right? But whether that may be good, so like I think that there is some value in doing that to a degree to keep, as you say, the community together and all on the same page, and everybody's looks the same and feels like they fit in, right? We'll get rid of the ones who don't. But that doesn't mean it's good, right?
Is it ultimately beneficial for them,
right,
or is it ultimately harmful?
Well, that's
and I
another
think it
question.
Could be either, depending on the circumstances.
That's what I was saying earlier about Jehovah's Witnesses and that sunk cost fallacy, where they put so much effort and energy into shunning, they can't really back out of it. But it's clearly harming them as an organization, as a religion, because countries everywhere are starting to say, we're cutting off your funding if you don't change these behaviors. We're considering this child abuse. Lots of different things, and they've made not really any changes at all. They look almost like changes.
Hair.
They're not.
A little whisper of
change.
Right.
But it's still not morality, right? Like whether it's benefiting a group as a whole still doesn't mean that it's a morally good thing or an ethical thing to do. But keeping the group together. I'm going to give you a political example. In my history class in college, I learned a lot about the American history from the beginning, like from as far back as we know of the Americas up to the Civil War. It was the best class I ever took. And we covered how Andrew Jackson essentially threatened and like slaughtered a bunch of people, I think it was, in order to prevent cessation of the states in a civil war. And so the question was, he kind of brutally did some really awful, terrible things that were dictatorial and probably illegal. But his goal was to keep the country from having a civil war, which they ended up doing anyway, so it didn't work. But is that good? Depends on how you want to look at it, but I still don't think it would be morally good. And so those are two different things. And the only reason I want to call that out is because Jehovah's Witnesses don't see them as separate. Because the organization has dictated this, it has come from high above, therefore it is good, right? Because everything the organization, the governing body does came from Jehovah, and therefore it's good because Jehovah could never do anything that isn't. And so they can't see the difference.
Okay.
But there is one.
Say you're at your Kingdom Hall and you don't like your overlord there. Can you just up abruptly and go to another one?
There isn't an overlord.
You could just get up and go to another Kingdom Hall, but if it's too close to where you normally go, they're going to find out who you are. Now, if you move states, you might be able to get away with it for a little
So
while.
you can't do it.
Records will follow you eventually if you use your real name.
So no. I'm saying so you cannot do that. Is what you're saying.
They make it difficult to do that.
Unless you lie, I mean, you could lie. You certainly could lie. So you could. You'd be lying.
Well, that is really high control. Again, like a regular old Baptist Christian church, man. Oh, I don't like this preacher. I'm going next door. They go to another one. Then they go to another one. Oh, they're like, you know what? I don't even like none of y'all. I'm starting my own thing. And now they preaching out their living room. We should start a rogue Kingdom Hall.
We could buy an old Kingdom Hall and then just leave it all the same.
And just start holding meetings.
Right. Leave the name up on the side. Like, don't remodel it or anything.
Yeah, with the new news. With the new Jehovah.
New.
I think that's what we got to do. I was thinking like, Nick, what if we just beat them at their game, and we just go super hard into a weird off, real hard about Jehovah, the new Jehovah Witness, and then I thought like, no, and then they'll catch on, and then they'll be in that, and then they're gonna think that that's really something, and now we just created a whole new thing that's even worse.
No,
we should create a cult.
Conforming because you're not behaving as you should, right?
Yeah.
They'll catch on to that. Do you guys remember the atheist troll on TikTok? He got a link to one of the Zoom meetings they had really early on, like 2020, and he was on a live and he's like, I'm gonna get on here, and he got on and then he asked a question. I was like, nope, don't do it. You're not gonna get. He's like, I'm just gonna ask this question. I was like, the fact that you're asking the question, they're gonna know you don't belong and they're gonna kick you out. And he asked a question and he got booted. Like,
what did he ask?
Smelled you a mile away, buddy.
Do you remember what he asked?
I don't remember what he asked. It wasn't like, you know how he is. Like, it wasn't rude. It was like, what about this scripture or something? And
what do you think about Ezekiel 23:20?
They didn't even. You're asking questions you don't belong. Anyway,
I don't even know what any of those Bible verses are.
Yeah.
Ezekiel 23:20. There she left it after her lovers.
Like, I don't know. Like,
things were like horses.
I have like a very low knowledge of like just
keep it that way.
The lore of it. I got the gist of it, and
it's all you need.
It's all you need. You only need a taste. Just a taste.
I gave it a go. I gave the Bible a go one time.
Read it save your brain cells.
I tried to read. I read about. I got to like
the college try. It was good enough. You've got a taste.
I was just listening to it, and I was like, man, it got to that point where they were just talking about he had before. They just everybody who had sex or whatever and had this kid and all those names, and I was just like,
who begot someone who begot.
I was like, this just sounds like, and then the way it was just jumping around, all this. I said, this just sounds like, this don't sound like nothing. It sounds like something. It's interesting that some person long ago wrote this, but it's not like this is
the Epic of Gilgamesh is equally fascinating, if not more, and that's even older.
Mm-hmm. I love the Epic of Gilgamesh. I love all those old stories. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Turns out we had brains back then. We just didn't have the form of communication we do today.
Right?
We certainly had a lot more time just to sit around and think of good stories.
Yeah, they just had nothing but dirt and fire. So.
And sex.
Looks like it might be that way soon again, guys.
And beer. Not necessarily good beer, but and wine.
They did have beer back in Babylon, yes.
Yeah. I'd go for a swig of that Babylonian
brew.
Sorry.
Babylon brew.
Oh man.
Yeah, all that backslide. Look at all that backsliding y'all been doing. See how y'all been acting? Just as rambunctious as you want.
The Epic of Gilgamesh. That's good.
I do love Gilligan. I don't know.
Here's a story of a man named Gilligan.
don't know where that was going.
Who lives on an island? Looking for the plant of life.
I found an article. I was doing some research on this, and I decided to go to like Google Scholar, PubMed, and just typed in a couple of keywords. Mostly just shunning. I think I did like shunning and the harm versus benefits or something like that. Something real simple. And I found a bunch of stuff, some of it relevant, some of it not. A lot of it behind some paywalls, and one of them was like, I ain't paying that much. Forget it.
No, that's frustrating.
But I found a free one that was super interesting, and I want to read it. It is a lot. It is somebody's PhD, psychology PhD dissertation,
Nice.
which is the culmination of their entire research project that they then get to say they're a doctor at the end of, which goes through, I don't know if you guys have ever met anyone who's ever gotten a PhD before, but it is fucking a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of getting people to look at your work and research and criticize it, and lots of peer reviewing. What does this like?
Man, before you start, I was just listening to what you were saying. All that hardship you got to go through just to get recognized as like, yeah, you for sure know what you're talking about. But you got to argue with people.
You get what?
You got to argue with people.
In doing a PhD, you mean? Or?
You got to argue. You got argue with people who think they can cast out demons.
Oh. Well,
and there's no way to check. There's no way to prove that you can and you cannot. But just say you can't, based on when you ain't casting out demons. You're not. But like you look around and everybody's like, yeah, they are. You're like, no, they're not. I'm like, yes, they are. I'm like, oh, they don't care.
Because living in the land of scientific research and scrutiny is not easy. I don't think it's easy at all, because you really have to hold yourself accountable to what you say and what you know, and the quality of the information and data that you got it from, and how did you collect that data? Did you collect it correctly? It's a lot of fucking work. It is not easy. It's not easy to do. So it's really easy to dismiss when you don't know any of that. That's, I think, part of it. But to be fair, one of the criticisms I do have with the scientific community, and something that I'm going to include myself in on this, is that we tend to do research at the level that we want to get that information, right? And then it sounds sciencey. It sounds like gibberish. It sounds like medical doctors using medical terminology. We have to learn it at medical terminology, and then we have to learn to stop saying that stuff and find a different way to say those words. But we have to learn them in such a specific way that if you use this very, 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 very specific word, it means a very specific location in your body that's having a problem. And you need them to have that kind of level of information, but they have to then not use that language when they talk to people who don't know those words. And that's difficult to do. And so the scientific community is very guilty of talking to themselves, amongst themselves. And the reason I say that is because this article that I found is very, very cool. I like it. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to try and do my best to digest the information and then not make it sound all sciencey, because it's not difficult to read, but it's a lot. It's like 400 pages.
So we sit there while you read 400 pages?
I may not read every page, but it's broken down into a lot of things, and I just want to give you the title of this. Are you guys ready?
Take me to Jehovah already.
His name is in the title, so the title is, or you know what? Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna
share it.
I'm just gonna share my screen here so you can see what I'm looking at
before I get up.
What?
So I need to get another drink. We'll wait till you reveal before I leave.
It is called a qualitative exploration of the social dynamics of religious shunning in the Jehovah's Witness community. I'm totally excited to read this.
This is a thesis, you said?
This is this person's doctoral thesis, right?
Awesome.
Did we find out what they got a doctorate for?
Psychology. I think it's in the. It's in here somewhere. Philosophy.
Oh, philosophy.
Boo! Sorry, I thought it was psychology.
I thought it was sociology.
Anyways, if you go to an abstract's always like the Cliff Notes. And if you think this isn't the Cliff Notes, it is 402 pages long. So yes, it is. And they'll usually give you like why they're studying it, which is background. The methodology is how did we do this? And they even had groups of people that included PMOs and elders, and they did interviews. They'll go over like the results of the data that they found, and then usually do like some sort of conclusion or what do we think this means, blah blah blah. Anyways, I won't make you guys read this, but
oh please, by all means, don't.
She blinded me.
Yes, I blinded you.
Because you know this is why you're here, right?
Jeez. I mean, man. That was.
But I thought, I'll go through it. I didn't show you, but there is a really nice outline on it, and they'll go through like different sections. It is organized so that if you wanted to jump to a section,
I just need to get to that conclusion. I'm just kidding.
and guess what? It ain't that easy. But there are things like how are people coping with this? And so it goes into detail, not just like what happens to people when they get shunned, but what happens to them years down the road. And just from the little bit of it,
they end up on a podcast.
They do. Sharing way too much personal information. But it was kind of satisfying in that sense that I was like, okay, well, I've been out for 20 years now. Didn't really do any real deconstruction, just survived for a while. And then I kind of came here, bursting into the scene. Not really, but still, it felt validating because everybody goes through their own pace, through their own journey, as it were. And
my shunning is going tough.
It's tough, yeah. Tough love, is that it?
Mm-hmm. They haven't bothered me.
So your tough love is shunning? Seems a little passive aggressive.
I had one of the dudes that was the Jehovah's Witness in school. I'm friends with him on Facebook. I don't think he's Jehovah's Witness no more.
Good for him.
Shout out to that guy.
Sucked to be him. He was like the only one, but he was a cool guy though. Well, then he benefit from just the culture around.
Well, that's herd immunity.
Yeah. He ran track. He was popular. He had friends. Everybody he was cool. He just didn't celebrate Christmas.
I'm surprised he was allowed to be on track.
Yeah, he was on track.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like.
He played.
I don't know how witnessy his parents actually were then.
Well, yeah, because you got to think like they didn't like. This is like a really small knit town. Like it's like maybe 1,500 people here, and that's all we had. So you shun. You ain't nothing enough because most of the people like everybody was so closely related that was and was not Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I mean? Like his entire like his
stronger than others and have like more of a pull. So
yeah, because his entire family wasn't Jehovah's Witness. His immediate neighbors wasn't Jehovah's Witness. Most of the people he interacted with wasn't Jehovah's Witness. Most of the time he interacted with us. So he
wasn't homeschooled with.
He wasn't homeschooled. We went to school from kindergarten all the way till we graduated together. So he was around us most of the day, and he hung out. So the neighbors and other family members. I guess when your whole family's in it really sucks.
Yeah, it really kind of does.
That shunning must really suck.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
and
you don't really have any outside friends. That's why they don't
Yeah.
want you to be in sports and things like that, because they don't want you to have association and make friends and create bonds with other people, because you need to be in that insular
which
shunning
pulls you back
ability
in.
situation. Yeah.
Like, as long as you don't know that it could be good out there,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But also I think the abuse isn't just a child being shunned, but children shunning other people is
Mhm.
like, that's a lot to put on.
Imagine shunning your grandparent or your mom, or like, it's
I
so
know.
weird.
I
know,
shunned
like-
my, I
Who
shunned my
wasn't even
grandma when I
Jehovah's
was
Witness.
younger.
Did
I know,
you?
like,
Yeah, shunning your grandmom. That's horrible.
I know, like in the Baptist church, you can like say you like a part of the church, and you get married, you just marry anybody you want. Anybody you want to come in, they don't even your spouse don't even have to come to church. They don't care. They now
Right.
would they prefer you to do that? Yes. Will they preach on that? Yes. But it doesn't change the
You
dynamic.
won't get shunned if you
Yeah.
did marry outside.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no you don't marry. You just
Only
marry.
women get disfellowshipped or shunned if they marry outside of the religion, or they get divorced.
You
They're
can
usually
lit-
the ones that
like
get-
you can literally marry an opposite religion. Nobody cares. You can be.
Nope,
I have a friend. I've had a friend. I have a friend. I have a friend. He's Muslim and his wife is Christian.
And it works.
How long have they been married?
Maybe 15. No. Yeah. About the same length as me. 12, 13, some years like that.
Yeah, when are they allowed to divorce?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. People say, "Oh,
You can.
they're together forever," but then like they're not actually allowed to divorce.
There's no, but that's the thing. There's no, would they prefer you not to divorce? Yes. Do they preach against divorce? Yes. But can you get a divorce? Yes. It has, that divorce has absolutely nothing to do with the church. The church isn't even involved in none of that. There's nothing. You don't even have to think about what your church think. You get I guess you got a standard of how you feel people think about your relationship based on how you build yourself, but you don't have to think about, will the church allow me to get this divorce? Or I don't care. Get you one.
Church of Bizarro.
Get you one. And come in with your new wife too. They don't
Opposite world
care.
church.
Bizarro church.
Yeah, complete
The
opposite.
Bizarro elders.
Having normal relationships. Imagine that, having relationships with whoever you want to. Is it healthy?
Healthy boundaries instead of shunning people.
Yes. Yes. Was he kind to you? Are you sure you'd want to date him if he's not going to be kind to you? Oh my God, could you imagine?
That's crazy, because Jehovah's Witnesses is making the other religions make more sense. They're like, man, you know what? At least I ain't no Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, at least I don't shun people. Yeah. Other religions sound cool compared to freaking
Yeah. Y'all are pretty boring.
weird rules.
Y'all are pretty boring. Y'all are very.
Shunning causes a lot of pain. Like shunning
Y'all about
causes
as
physical pain,
y'all-
mental pain.
y'all and the Mormons are like
Yeah, it's like a cousin.
like y'all
Yeah,
like
it's
cousins or
something.
something.
It came
because-
from a very similar branch of like
'cause
at a very
it's-
specific time. It was like a branch off of, I don't know if it was the Millers or right before the Millers, I forget. But it was around that time.
Both of them originated in like the late 1800s, right?
Yes.
And you hear the Mormon one is like, yo, that made Jehovah's Witness sound like, you know what, that does make sense. Jehovah is the one for me.
He wrote his own books Russell, our founder, wrote his own books. I mean, it was a little bit different because he called them like sacred, so that was a little extra.
But when you hear that
Still
more about
liars nonetheless.
but when he said about the angels brought me some golden tablets.
Right? He's like, let me peek into my hat and read these tablets.
I just said, hey, the angels brought me the most important information that all mankind could know and need, but don't show it to them. Just tell them about it.
Right.
That tells me that I'm special.
Yeah, okay, that's what it is. It's like, whoa.
You can create mountains in the universe, but you can't create one single piece of writing that would stand the test of time.
People's brains, and people really think the world is coming to an end because of like everything that's happening.
Oh, I know.
Jesus is coming back. You just wait. The signs are there.
Man, that boy shit, man, we're gonna be looking. What would you do if he show up though?
Jesus can come back. Muhammad can come back.
He is not showing up.
What if he show up though? We just like, oh, that's what's up.
I wish he'd.
I'd be like, yo,
for once.
I'd be like, okay, finally, you showed up and took you long enough, man. Do something. Do something. Why are you so short?
The Mormons get their own. And I think Yahweh comes from like that same solar system where.
Yeah, you get your own planet. You get your own planets. That's wild. That is wild. I didn't know people was like. I did not know people were just out there just.
You promise anything.
I didn't. When I tell you,
get your whole solar system for yourself.
Yeah. I'm gonna get my own galaxy. There's billions of them out there. You got small thinking. I'm gonna get a galaxy.
Dang.
Every time I get blown away, it's just like I'm trying to figure out where was I? Because where was it? Because where everybody's at, I'm like, where was I? Where was I?
You were living the life of reality while everybody was thinking about beating themselves up for not doing the thing in the book that was rewritten 800,000 times. Yeah, I don't know.
I never thought about it, but it is what it is.
Well, we're forcing you to think about it now, so.
It's gonna have a reverse effect, and I'm gonna become like a super Jehovah's Witness, and I'm gonna revive I'm gonna bring all my worldly tactics to the new organization and make it more popular than ever.
I'm sure we can combine this idea with the communism thing, make something work out.
Yeah, come on, Dab Cyber, let's make it happen.
Yeah, bring it in.
I mean, I've already thought about the Jehovah's Witnesses tracks and stuff as far as propaganda machine goes.
Mm-hmm.
I want that.
We can get
all those different languages and stuff.
We can get Dr. Tom Waiter to write up our lore, our long history. And Ryan, we're making artifacts.
You can do that.
Yeah. And you can strategically just put them in different places. And maybe 1,000 years from now, there'll be a group of people on the podcast arguing about whether we existed or not. Did the Gobstopper really exist?
No, he was a mythical character, much like Bigfoot.
Yeah, because everybody looks like
Jesus.
So I was just thinking about the proof God could have given that he existed, and all of a sudden what popped into my head is like those Voyagers, the Voyager spacecraft that they sent out 1 and 2, they had the disc, the gold record. Are you guys familiar with what's on the gold record that they sent out into space? Has a collection of music, sounds, writings. I don't know about like a lot of writings, but it's mostly stuff you could play on a record. But then on the record, there's images, and it's got like basic drawings of a man, woman. It symbolizes, I think, hydrogen.
Is it Andy Warhol signature on this thing?
Not that I know of. I could be wrong.
Captain Hook.
Images, like things like this that were digitally imprinted onto the record, but then like just really basic things like that represent humanity and Earth, and that we live here. And I'm thinking, if we had discovered something like that, that would be more Like I would believe that might have been from a deity more than the Bible.
Right? The Bible is like, oh God.
Maybe in
It's a
a
curse to
millennia, it'll
humanity.
circle back around the solar system and land back on Earth.
I mean,
People think God sent it.
I mean, like if I was an all-powerful deity that can do absolutely everything, I would be insulted. Like what?
I would be so insulted with people's description of me, the way they call me like jealous and petty and
Oh,
petulant.
man, I'd be like,
so fucking embarrassed.
I'd be like, yo, why y'all drinking blood?
Like, y'all are nasty fuck.
What are you doing?
Who the hell gave you that idea?
Eating flesh too?
And then you'd complain about that, and then generations later, they'd ban blood transfusions.
Right.
No.
So you just can't get a blood transfusion. So you just can't get a blood transfusion.
They're going to change the rules. You can get like a one unit. That's the max. As long as you don't dilute your blood too much. So there's like a percentage.
What did it? That's what I'm saying, man.
That's what's coming next.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like I tried
made up nonsense.
Like the way they think about it, it's just like I hear it and I'm like what? What are you saying?
Uh-huh.
like and I don't and it's just like, man, I know you believe this, but wow, I'm blown away right now. Like, I'm really blown away right now by this. I was like, yo.
Yeah. I'd have more respect for it if they were like, nope, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the science says. You just can't do it, period.
Yeah, no.
But the like, no, the science actually agrees.
Stop doing this fake science and say you just don't want to do it. That's all you gotta say. We don't want to do that.
Say you don't want to. Say
our religion. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. We know whatever you're we don't want to do it. Just let me bleed out, baby.
I'm sorry, we're joking about it. It's not funny, but yes, it's very frustrating, and I handle it with humor. So, yeah, we can. I wouldn't mind circling back. I kind of want to do a blood transfusion presentation. If you guys saw it long time ago, we kind of had a series on the blood transfusions and stuff, and I wanted to do one for my medical peers instead, like they're the target audience so that they know what's going on.
I'm gonna say this. You know what I miss? A nice, long, boring lecture and a book.
What? I'm here. What do you want?
No. I'm talking about like with pictures. I don't necessarily want to receive any of the knowledge.
You want to sit there and never remember anything that you heard?
I just want to
in the moment.
No, I just want to hear it because it just sounds like yeah, that sounds good.
Oh, well then, boy, do I have lectures for you. I have years of pharmacy school lectures that I just have on audio file. You won't learn anything, and you'll just hear the cadence of the conversation in the background. Maybe you'll learn something.
I just like to pass it.
Some MIT lectures and then fall asleep. It's been a while since I've done that.
I like to just passively absorb little bits and pieces of information and build upon those little pieces until.
That's fair. That's how most learning things work. It's just the degree of which amount of time and effort and capacity you can.
But we're arguing with people who know everything.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah, they know everything, so
it's more fun to not totally. It's fun to know enough to know that you don't know, really.
I know everything.
I am at in chess, pretty much. Like I know enough to
know you don't really know enough.
I know how much I know.
I know everything. I know everything. I know everything in the world. There's no more knowledge to be known.
I like Dan's comment here. Take only part of a vaccine.
Just inject half into it. Half into it.
I'm not laughing, but I'm just imagining y'all trying to get all these things, but there's a witness member with you. Hey, right there.
There's a
Stop.
divine percentage that you
Stop.
can follow.
Stop. They be like, stop, no more.
Oh,
Homeopathic
that was too much. You're just fellowship.
Organic blood.
I wouldn't be surprised if they say we'll have to administrate it.
Oh, what about blood made in a lab? What if we, like, there's lab grown meat? What if we can
Synthetic?
make completely synthetic blood that works?
It's probably coming, don't you think?
I would think so.
Well, the Jehovah's Witness? Oh, you know the Jehovah's Witness ain't
I
gonna
looked
get
this
none of
up at
that.
one point, and I don't remember. I vaguely remember looking that exact thing up, and I don't remember what
Yeah,
I.
I think I remember seeing something about it. It might even been Jay in our audience who told me about it.
Man, Jehovah's Witness ain't gonna never let you get none of that. Jehovah's Witness ain't gonna let nobody get none of that. Come on. No, they're not.
I wonder.
Their benefit that their members don't die needlessly. So I do think that they.
Man, they're gonna be. No people gonna freak out,
don't
man.
want them to die, but
No.
they have to double down on it.
I think those people are gonna freak out. Like they gonna freak out. They are like that is mad crazy to them. Science is when you give them synthetic blood, you just might as well just put the devil in them.
Get a quart.
They gonna freak out.
Blood fractions, an eighth of a quart of blood is
half ton,
okay.
please.
That's all you're allowed.
Oh, you can sell blood to Jehovah's Witnesses like you sell weed.
United Healthcare might cut you off.
Would you like an eighth of blood?
Yeah. United Healthcare probably that should be why they don't want you to is because they don't want the insurance costs.
Somebody need to grow a Jehovah's strand.
Might be one.
It should be.
I just saw this. I thought it was funny. I literally just watched like the first couple episodes of the show like last weekend.
Need that true blood.
True blood. I never seen that.
I thought it was you, Jay.
It was entertaining. From what I saw, I only saw like 3 episodes.
Vampires. Poor Jehovah's Witness vampires.
I think that's fucking hilarious. a vampire that converts to being a Jehovah's Witness is actually...
That should be a show.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, the vampire doesn't convert to a Jehovah's Witness. He bites a Jehovah's Witness. Now the Jehovah's Witness has to deal with being a vampire. Deal with being a vampire. I'm on the same. Hush your mouth. Say no.
Yeah, start drawing the cartoon, Tyler, and I'll start writing.
Pen right there.
8 ball of blood.
I got a baggie. You want a dime?
Oh, I just got something else. I just wrote something else. It's on.
You just gotta like take notes. Something you're gonna do.
Something I may never do because I never have time to do anything but look and breathe. I ain't posted on TikTok since October.
Oh yeah. Wow.
I just felt like TikTok just ain't not to say what we talking about, but this ain't what it used to be. But,
You're shunning TikTok. We get it.
Yeah. I mean, the more ads it shows me, the more I shun it. So we kind of talked about the pros and the cons, which I would say we really landed more on the cons, and I don't think we even delved as deeply as we could into the levels of cons. But I think even the benefits are somewhat debatable. As Dobstopper even pointed out, like, is it even really all that beneficial? Which I think that article actually addressed to some degree of, is it even actually beneficial to shun people, members of society? But I was...
In some cases, it probably is limited, but...
Not to brag or nothing, not to brag anymore, not to throw salt on the wound.
Uh-huh.
You can even be an atheist and they still won't shun you.
Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, not Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh,
Come on now.
Who won't
You can
shun
be
you?
atheist and who? will shun you?
Like regular Baptist churches.
Oh,
That like
okay. Other Christians
Yeah.
don't, right. I mean, to some degree, people do avoid, but like
certain
it's not
people.
a
Certain people maybe certain.
official decreed from above shun.
No.
So
No. Yeah, of course, some people in the church may not mess with you. But
certain like parts in government, people probably have a hard time like getting them if they're out atheists. And
you
stuff.
can't be atheist in government.
Yeah.
You can't be in Texas government at all and be atheist.
It's
Yeah, oh
technically
God, I
against
bet
the
you.
Arkansas
Nothing.
Constitution to be an
Texas is
atheist
fucking.
in
Whew,
the
going
can
government
I
of
down.
run as a
Arkansas.
Jehovah's Witness?
Oh, I rather, man, come on, don't do that.
It would be very confusing because they don't do that.
That would.
They don't vote and be like, vote for me. I can't.
Just
I won't be voting for myself. I'm morally opposed to.
Look at that.
You-
look at that right there. Got another one. Got another one.
building that shows that.
Oh man, this is. I'm on to something here. I am on to something here.
Oh, so is Ryan there? New fashion?
Everyone's got to wear turtlenecks from
Right,
now on.
protecting my jugular.
Oh, from the vampires.
If the were vampires.
We'd see the red and know that you got bit, or
No, I'm just protecting my jugular so that I don't tempt.
Oh,
That's my duty that's my duty is to not
I mean,
tempt
you can see all my blood vessels. So.
Yeah, I gotta cover
you
up my
like-
wrists, my
You
shoulder.
like-
Just hide
like-
my whole body.
you just look like a blood bag. Like when they see you, you
Right,
turn into a
I
bag of.
don't sure agree with that statement.
Look at that
what
blood
a
bag
juice
right
you.
there. Meanwhile, don't come near me. Like, I ain't got nothing for you. You don't want me as a vampire.
You're a vampire chocolate drop.
No, I'd be a vampire if everybody was coming around. I'm going. I wouldn't even spend time trying to fight them. Yep, I'll join you. What's up?
I mean,
Oh, I can live forever and kill people?
Spike
Hell
was
yeah.
pretty
I will
cool
be a
vampire.
vampire Dexter for all eternity.
All,
American bitches.
all black
Vampires?
vampires go in the
Evil
sun, or
bitches.
is it just Wesley Snipes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like Blade.
Blade looked weird in that last movie.
The Deadpool movie?
Mm-hmm.
He's older.
Yeah, he's
like
I know, like his body looked. I don't know. It looked like
Pale does to you.
it looked CG.
Prison? He was
Well,
I'll
in
watch a
prison.
new Blade movie.
Everything's CGI'd now.
I was like, why is his head moving weird like that? And he's like, I don't know. He was walking weird. I don't know what it was. I don't know. That's just my trained eyeball looking at it. My bad. Sorry. Jones.
Well,
So what do you think? Jehovah's Witness Blade.
Mm.
Blade's well, I mean, Blade he's avoiding blood a lot of times, isn't he?
what?
Doesn't Blade avoid blood, like drinking blood, as much as he can?
Yeah, he does
So-
because he's half vampy.
He's
not
half
fully.
he's half vampire,
Yeah.
half JW.
Yeah.
So he's gotta avoid drinking the blood.
yeah. That's a struggle.
Guys, we just found out Blade's a Jehovah's Witness.
But it's
Only half.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
half Jehovah's Witness. He's a fellowship, but
He did drink blood at least.
he's actually a pomie. He's physically out, mentally.
Oh man.
I actually
Crave that
watched
sweet
Blade.
blood.
that first Blade movie when I was still a Jehovah's Witness, and I was like, "This is so cool."
Is
I feel like I shouldn't be watching
one,
this. Like,
one last thing about the shunning is the shunning is that the thing that pushes most Jehovah's Witnesses out? Like, is that when it kind of
I
starts?
don't know. I don't know
That
if
would
it
kind of start to click for people, or do a lot of people get shunned and they just end up?
That's a good
getting back
question.
in.
It was a catalyst for me eventually, but not immediately. Not
Is
for
it mentioned in that 400 and something odd page study?
it is
Yeah.
mentioned in the 400 odd. I saw a little brief bit of that, and I was like, "That's interesting." They
You'll have
addressed
to let us
the very
know.
topic.
See,
Yes.
I didn't even read that thing.
I was writing stuff down as we were talking, and there are several things that we've hit that I suspect are in that article from what I've read. And some natural conclusions we've come to because we've been in it. We've seen the data real life, right? So I'm not surprised that we've come together and shared our experiences and discovered a lot of the same thing. Anyways, if you guys want, I can do my best to read it and give you Cliff Notes versions if you'd like. If I read it and it's not helpful at all, I will try and find something more helpful. Or we'll just pick up a new topic. But I did kind of want to follow up this discussion with some like action items for ourselves to do, some sort of like reflection of coping mechanisms and things like that we can see, is this what we're doing? Is this a good idea? Like just sharing ideas for how do I deal with this? Because I don't know about you, but I've been out for 20 years. I have no intention of ever going back. There's nothing about that religion that I want to be part of. And I'm still being shunned. Unshun, let's have a conversation. Reshun. That's what I get. I get unshun. I have a problem. Can you help me with this? Great. Okay. Reshun.
Talk to you when I need you or want you or whatever, and then duck and dodge whenever it's not convenient.
It's my mom. Can't not help her.
I get it. I do the same. I'm not. I love unconditionally.
I am so glad.
Leading by example.
I am so glad.
I'm just better than.
Oh, I am so glad we ain't still. Oh man, what I miss. I'm glad I missed all that. I'm glad we started going to the Jehovah's Witness church. They almost had us. I could have been. Oh man,
you could be being shunned right about now.
Well, maybe I am shunned. Like I said, just don't know it.
Maybe. On a list.
Ex-Witness Awake 9 is my favorite number. So what we could do this.
Our piece.
All right. Well, any other
for next
week about the problems, the problems we have with shunning? Any other final comments or thoughts?
I don't know, man.
We'll have more later.
I don't know. I'm bad out of
focus. Sorry, what'd you say?
So I'm bad out of focus. So.
Yeah. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody, and
thank you.
We'll see you next week, and continue to shun. I don't know. There was a joke in there somewhere. Good night.
Doesn't matter.
I'll come up. I ran out of puns earlier, so
shun all your problems and ignore them entirely. Continue doing
shunning, the solution and cause of all our problems.
Well,
we got shunned in the beginning when he kicked us out the garden.
It's true. It's where it started. We learned
God started it.
Yeah, it's learned behavior is what it is. All right, well, let's find the origin of shunning next week. No,
all right, guys, thank you for coming. See you all next week. Thanks to everybody in the audience for hanging out with us tonight. Peace.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.